Welcome back to Women's Strength and Bodybuilding. My name is Mark, and please like the video and click that subscribe button. Let's get into the physique top 5 from the 2023 Europa. In first place was Karina Goncalves, and for the first time in a long time, I don't really have too many critiques to say about her. She looked really good here, and she's got some great separation going on in the quads, a nice tapered waist, and a broad upper body with great shoulders. Now, do I think she has what it takes to beat the queen? No. The queen gives the illusion of more density and fullness in the muscle, with a really flowing aesthetic to top it all off. And if you compared these two ladies side by side on the Olympia stage, I'd put Karina behind the queen, not taking anything away from Karina's win here. I'm just saying that the level of difficulty really ramps up when you factor in other competitors like Brooke Walker, Emily Schubert, and of course the queen. Ah, geez, is this really what this has turned into? If I don't have any direct improvements for the winners, then I start making comparisons to the next class up? I guess that's what bodybuilding is all about. Who shows up on stage? Nonetheless, I'm a big fan of what Karina was able to do here, and from certain angles I think she could have even displaced Celine from the women's bodybuilding division, so a big congrats to her on the win. In second place was Alves dos Santos, and you might remember her from my Masters Olympia recap just a couple weeks ago. She looks like she was able to maintain her conditioning from the Masters and even make a couple improvements to her aesthetic. Her big selling point for me was her legs. She's got a ton of size and separation going on, both from in front and especially from the back. Check out the striations from the glutes down into the hamstrings. You can see every line like it's an anatomical muscle chart like you'd see at the doctor's office. My feedback for her after placing second at the Masters was that she needed more size and fullness in the arms to match her lower body, and that she's one of those rare examples where the conditioning in the lower body is better than the upper body, which by nature isn't something that's very common in bodybuilding in general. The same still holds true here. She needs more size and development in the arms, but she brought a fantastic look and was able to make some improvements even with her hair, suit, and makeup. We've seen a few competitors from some of these shows fall off at subsequent appearances, so I hope Carolyn is able to continue making improvements if she's going to continue to stay in the game past 2023. And a big congrats to her on her second place finish. In third place was Sarah Bradley, and she was able to improve her placing from coming in at fourth at the Texas Pro. And if you watched that video, you know I was a pretty big fan of her midsection, specifically while doing the arms overhead pose. Here she looks like she was able to improve and did a great job of controlling her midsection between all poses. She's another competitor that was able to make some improvements. Lots of improvements in women's physique going on at this show. If she can continue to fill out while keeping the separation and conditioning tight, she can definitely move up in her placings. The only critique I have for her beyond that is her hairstyle, and I think I mentioned something about that in my Texas Pro recap. I mean, she's a really pretty girl. You can see that she has a really nice face, but I'm not sure what she's trying to accomplish with the hairstyle. Kinda reminds me of Koopa from the live action Super Mario Bros. Movie, which isn't a big deal, but if you watch my history of women's bodybuilding video, you know that these competitions have their roots as beauty pageants. So if you had two identical competitors in terms of size and conditioning, which one would you choose? One with a prettier and more feminine look, or one with a more extreme look? Personally, if I was a judge, I'd choose the prettier look 10 times out of 10. Just food for thought, I guess. And either way, a big congrats to Sarah. Coming in fourth place was Emilia Balkova, and for her it just seemed to be the midsection that kept her from being more competitive with the top 3. But sheesh, what a tough top 3 here, right? They either already looked phenomenal or made some great improvements and strides in their conditioning. And outside the major contenders like Andrea Shaw and Natalia Abraham Coelho, I feel like it's fewer and far between these days to see that. But one thing that did impress me about Emilia was her back development. I mean, check this out. It looks pretty on point. If she can tighten things up and add some more size, she might be able to move up a placing. Rounding out fifth was Joanna Romana, and she ended up falling a placing from her fourth place finish at the Masters Olympia. Her conditioning slipped a little bit in between shows. From the front poses, I put her in front of Emilia, but then when I saw her hit the back poses, Emilia had a lot more development overall, but specifically in the glutes and hamstrings. If she can get back to where she was at the Masters Olympia, then start to make improvements from a conditioning standpoint, I could see her moving back up to fourth, or maybe even third depending on the show. So that wraps it up for women's physique at the 2023 Europa. Thanks for watching all the way through. Please like the video, comment, and subscribe. I really value all my viewers, and especially my subscribers. So let's keep the conversation going as we're another day closer to the Olympia.